Woo! I like to give my Twitch viewers just a little extra time because I don't give two shits about my Twitch VODs, but I do care about my YouTube VODs, so I don't like to not be in front of the camera when I start my YouTube VODs. My streams, I should say. Hello, kitty. So, we got a couple new... Okay, we got a couple new buttons, okay? So, Marky, are you watching right now? Marky! Are you watching?
Mighty Mork, it's all clip culture now.
There we go. Now here it is, ready?
Mighty Mork
Okay, wait.
VODs aren't shit.
No, wait, that's not the one. Nah, VODs are bullshit, dude. Ready? That's my new button. When someone Australian comes in chat and I can tell them, sorry bro, you're not allowed to watch this. You gotta show me a picture of your face.
Mighty
I'll send in your DNA, bro. You like that? And the fucking...
Mighty Mork, make one that is a piss take on the QLD law.
I will. I will.
You did a heckin' hate speech.
Mighty Mork, this content contains the words river and or sea, so is restricted in your area.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, fellas. We're hanging out today. We're going to be working on some sort of quest system. So, this is a project that I'm working on at the moment. Bloody, I don't know, Slumdog, something or other. We got plans for it, but I don't really want to talk too much about it right now. So, we've got a quest system that I'm kind of working on. I'm trying to figure out what the UI should look like for the quest. So, I've been like kind of researching other games a little bit. I kind of want to pull up Schedule 1 to just get reminded like how Schedule 1 does all of its stuff. So I'm going to update the game and then I'm going to give it a go. Because the thing is, right, quests can be quite complicated. You know, this is the next tutorial that I want to work on as well. It's like a quest system.
Mighty Mork, look at WoW default and quest mods.
WoW default, WoW quests.
Mighty Mork, compare the difference.
Well, I'm looking at like all kinds of random games, right? Because I don't want them, like, there needs to be like
Monkey Head 23 hot.
Like quests where you talk to people. Yo, what up, Monkey Head 23? Are you from Australia? If so, okay, wait, I gotta get used to these buttons. If so, you're not allowed to watch this. If you're from Australia, not allowed to watch this.
Monkey Head 23 Russia.
Okay,
Mighty
good.
Mork WoW is bloated with third-party mods that make shit easier.
You probably
to
got better
understand
free speech in Russia than we do in Australia. Potentially, I don't know. I don't really want to explore that further. Maybe not. Quest, okay, so I need like images of a quest overlay. Quest overlay, quest UI.
Mighty Mork, but Blizz is still a big dog, so seeing their default system and the third-party quest mods should give you insight.
Yeah, okay. Welcome to the stream, Monkey Man, Monkey Head 23. Good to have you in here. Just gonna look at some quest overlays. So what I like to do is just go to the Google. Oh, here we go. A little bit of donk for the Russian. Oh wait, you're on YouTube, you can't hear the music. A little bit of donk for the Russian. Donk, 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 donk. Okay, so quests here. Yeah, look.
Mighty Mork apparently as Mongold just got banned.
Yeah, well, it's been banned a million times this year already, right? I mean, in the last year, I should say. What for, though? Irate guard. No, that's not it. That's not going to be good. Like, basically what I want is, like, the name of the quest, and then, like, what you have to do underneath it. And it might be, like, you know, 1 of 5 collected, or 1 of 5, like, you know, whatever. But also, what if it's like a mission where you just have to go and talk to someone? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of got to work out the structure. But I think for right now, I'm just going to try and work out like what the UI looks like. So let's have a look at this. What I'm thinking is like you've got quests and we've got what's called a 9 patch rect, by the way. That's how I'm doing the border. You see how the border doesn't like stretch? It's a 9 patch, what you call it. So you can split the like texture into 9 individual cells. So the corners don't they don't stretch, but the middle bits do. You know what I mean?
Mighty Mork
Sound
name patch.
boy. Yeah, a 9 patch, exactly. Okay, so we got the title, HBox. It's a 9 patch rect on the inside. That's this brown area, a scroll container with a VBox in it, and then these are going to be our quests. So each quest can be like, it's going to be a control with a label, and it's going to be like quest name, and then underneath it, we kind of got to add a VBox container. Put the label
Mighty
inside
Mork,
that.
Are they quests or missions?
What's the difference?
Mighty Mork, what is the theme?
I've been thinking about this. Nautical. It's going to be nautical. So here, let me just like give you a little run around my little town. So at the moment, what's going to happen, right, is like now the wording I'm not too sure on just yet, but you're a bait maker. You like live in a slum, right? And you're making bait for the fishermen because you're not a fisherman just yet. And so what you'll need to do is you need to scavenge like rats, like dead rats and dead seagulls and stuff like that. And like even like dead fish, you know, and then like turn that into bait and like certain kinds of bait. So this is what I mean about like a little bit of a Schedule 1 vibe, because it's going to have this thing like a system where you can like mix the bait with oil and stuff like that. You know, you can like use the
Mighty Mork,
oil.
the nautical term is voyage or some shit then, I guess.
Voyage. Nah, not like that. I'm thinking like the theme doesn't really matter. I could have the word quests. Quests? Missions? What's the difference between a quest and a mission, chat? A quest versus a mission. Well, that's kind of cool. You can see where north is.
Mighty Mork,
Actually,
to me
that should be
personally.
south. To me personally, yeah, exactly.
Monkeyhead 23. Mighty
Super.
Mork, if it isn't yet old or fantasy based, it's a mission, not a quest.
Super. Oh, dude, it does this thing where it automatically translates Russian to English. That's mad. That's really sick, dude.
Monkeyhead 23, nice sky.
Yeah, this is a plugin called Sky 3D, just by the way. I'm thinking of, I've modified it a little bit, but not really. This is all pretty much vanilla Sky 3D. A really, really, really cool plugin. And I think I'm going to keep it. I was going to go for a little bit more of a low poly look, but like, I think the juxtaposition...
gonna have the cartel involved like Schedule 1.
Yeah, maybe. I think the juxtaposition of like, you know, a slum with like a really beautiful sky is like, it's kind of cool, you know? I kind of like that. This was all modeled in Blender, by the way. Like, I'm going back and I'm fixing a lot of little things like recessing the doors and stuff like that. A cartel involvement, yeah, potentially. I mean, right now it's kind of like it's small fry, you know. I'm kind of just getting ideas together. You know, things like a quest system are kind of important because like I need to get my basic structure together of like what I want my game to like function like, you know what I mean? So yeah, all of this is made with Blender, which is kind of cool, including the
01C pirates or something.
Sea pirates. I mean, we got to think about where the game's going to be in like one day. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I've made the tone map completely linear because I don't really want to mess around with the what do you call it? like the color grading or anything like that just yet, because I'm not too sure what I want the game to look like. I've actually taken the tone map that was on Sky 3D and I've removed it because it had a default. It was like Aces 2 or whatever you call it. The Aces one? No, wait, it was like AGX or AXG or whatever the hell it's called. And I've just removed it because I don't really want to mess around with tone mapping just yet. I kind of need to get the neutral look like nice and balanced first before I start to like, you know, dick around with stuff. So there's a few things that I've kind of like worked out.
Garbage island.
Yeah, basically it's going to be a garbage island. Like you'll harvest garbage to like turn into like lures and stuff like that potentially at some point. Or like you can, you know, add your like plastic, you know, to like the dead fish. You know, so like you grab a bunch of dead fish and rats and seagulls and stuff like that, and then you'll take them back to your
bitch, I played raft.
Your shack. Yeah, you think raft, but like a little bit more like hectic and gross. Because like, you know, you'll have like a little shack like this, and then like there'll be like blood and fish guts everywhere, you know, and then like you'll have to break down your protein. So it'll start with like trying to find worms, you know, like you're trying to find worms in the ground. Like how do you get worms out of the ground? Don't you just have to stomp on the ground or something like that? And then like every time it rains, like the worms will all come up. So you know, you're taking the worms, you're cutting them into pieces, and then you're selling them to the fishermen.
Look under things.
What are you talking about? Fuck you want about?
But retro manga. Mighty Mork, the worms come to the surface but sit under logs and rocks. Monkey Head 23, I think the water needs a slightly different shader.
Yeah, I don't like the water shader. It's not like, it doesn't fit the theme. And also the SSR is like a little bit dodgy, like as part of the shader.
Mighty Mork, how do you find worms gets answer, WTF you talking about?
It needs to be like arcadified, you know? So like they kind of just pop up, you know? Like on an industrial level, how do they farm worms, you know? How to farm... No, wait. How to make worms come out of the ground. I'm just going to Google that. Apply a mixture of water and dish soap to moist soil. What the fuck? Which irrigates them and forces them to the surface in seconds. Including ground vibrations. See?
Mork, bro, I could go and get worms right now from under a log or rock.
You gotta think about it in video game terms, bro. Not real world terms, okay? Like, what's the easiest thing that we can do?
Just Google, do you find worms under logs or rocks?
Yeah, I know you find spiders, you find fucking beetles, you can find anything underneath logs and rocks, right? But then I've got to make a system where I'm moving stuff, right? I just want to be able to walk over to the fucking grass, hold down a button, and then the worms come to the surface. And so vibrating the ground makes a lot more sense in that regard.
Why can't you have random logs and rocks spawn that you flip and they sometimes have worms?
Because I don't want it. What do you mean flip? Then there's gonna have this. We need to have like a state machine for the rocks, you know, where they're like.
Maybe a boat could come once a week for trading, get items you can't get or make on the island, and or you could sell your wares.
That's a good idea, actually. I kind of like that. The island base. Oh yeah, and I've also added a parkour system to the game. Look, see that shit? You know, there's obviously like no hands that come out or anything for it, but if I come up to like a wall or something like that, maybe we can put logs in the game, alright? There's a lot more effort than just vibrating the ground. Seems so easy. See, if I walk up to this, obviously I'm not going to be able to jump up onto it, but if I walk straight up to it and hit space, it plops me straight up on top of it. And that's so I can, like, you know, parkour myself around. Because I figure, like, it's kind of going to be fun to be able to jump over, like, buildings and stuff like that. It's kind of fun. I don't know if it should be in the game or not, but it could be fun. So what I'm thinking is maybe you get like a shovel or something like that and you just start bashing the ground. You know what I mean?
Monkey Head 23, you gonna use nav mesh for this place.
Nav mesh, yeah, the nav mesh is like
you can
basically already part of it.
To bring them worms up, it's your world, you need to drink water so you can pee on the ground, which makes them come out of the ground.
Does that work in real life as well? You just piss on the ground and the worms come up? Yeah, I'm gonna have a nav mesh in the play. Look, I'll show you. Like, we actually can generate a nav mesh, and this is one thing that I've already explored a little bit.
TJasaurus, I do think so.
Check it out. So we go to the slums. If we reparent a new node, a nav region,
TJasaurus thought it was
3D,
funny.
and then we create a nav
Mighty
region.
Mork just sing a fucking song and worms come out of the ground.
Yeah, it'll be like those snakes. What are they? They're cobras. You know, where you play the song to them. And obviously, like, that doesn't work. You know, it's just like they're distracting the snake. They're just going, whoa, look at this, look at this. But it looks like they're just playing the song for the snake, and it's making
Mighty
the snake
Mork,
dance,
exactly.
you know?
Nothing but retro, it's whackin' day, mate.
It's whacking day. Yeah, true, whacking day. We could do that. Snakes, though. Snakes is an interesting one. We could have snakes on the island. Think about that.
TJasaurus serenade them. Monkey Head 23 groovy.
Yeah, look at that nav mesh. It's beautiful. Like, I've made it in a way where I know the nav meshes are gonna work. So this is one of the first things I did when I made these
Mighty Mork, if
jetties.
it's just ease of design and removed from reality, make them do a rain dance and it rains worms.
Rains worms? Nah, maybe do a rain dance and then it rains and then the worms come up. Or maybe it's a little bit completely random, you know? I don't really want it to be much of a survival game. Maybe it's like every second day it just fucking rains all day or something. So you've got like one wet day, one like dry day, one wet day, or something like that. And then during the day, wait, is it during the day the fishermen will be out trying to catch fish, and then at night you sell stuff to them? Because I kind of want it to be a little bit like Schedule 1 in that regard, where time stops at like, you know, 4 a.m. or whatever, and then you've got to go back to your like little shack and then, you know, sleep on your bloody mattress on the ground or whatever, you know, and then slowly upgrade, slowly bit by bit. Anyway, that's the nav region. I'm not really
Mighty Mork, it depends on the species of fish they are targeting.
Interesting.
TJasaurus, sketchy fisherman.
Interesting. Well, let's say not deep sea fish. Let's say like shallow fish, because we've got one jetty here. We don't have any of the poles hanging out the bottom because I'm not super, you know, set on the layout of anything just yet. I'm not married to any of these layouts. But there'll be a tall jetty.
Mighty Mork, reef fish and crays are daytime.
Reef fish and cray. Let me look that up. Like cray, and like I want you to be able to. There is part of the game where I've kind of got it in my head what I want to happen, and it's like you take the little crab nets or whatever they're called, you know, like little shrimp. How do you catch shrimp? Like with little baskets? Or like a net. Because like eventually you'll be able to like go out, catch a
Mighty
whole
Mork
shitload
nets.
of fish, make a whole bunch of bait or whatever, and then sell it to the ship that comes past once a week. Think about that. Nets. Okay, so a shrimp basket. I've just looked this up. A shrimp
Nothing
basket.
but retro. One thing I think is dumb is the leaderboards are one thing per leaderboard. I had to reinvent that fucker to accept all kinds of stuff. Kills, deaths, KD ratio, ECT.
Bro, it's not
Mighty
even that
Mork
hard.
cast
It's
netting.
either an integer or it's a float. And you can't stick multiple stuff. I mean, the thing is,
Mighty
right,
Mork
you got to
used
think
for
about
bait, fish, and
serialization on a mass scale. It's like, it doesn't make sense for Steam's leaderboards to include JSON and stuff like that. What you can do is you can attach a it's a UGC element, but it's not part of the workshop, but it's part of the UGC pipeline. And this is the way that I save people's Steam avatars into the leaderboard entry. Sorry, not even their avatars, their actual name. So I've done this before. Let me actually just pull this up. Oh my god. I did it in Let Me Book. Let me show you this, right? Cuz like You got to take it bit by bit. I think you're moving too fast with what you're trying to do. You need to take it bit by bit. Especially when you start to get into the Steam stuff.
Retro, I have it working to accept multiple things now, so it's solved, but it's jank.
Yeah, and it will be jank. So look at this. All of those names, I can't pull from Steam IDs. I've got to save that name in, right? And, you know, it's been ages. I can't fucking remember how I did it, right? Damn, check that out. Number 2. Man, I thought, what's-his-face was on here somewhere. I guess he's not. Julian. Yeah, I guess he's not on there. Just let me book. So the way that I've got that leaderboard, and I'm at the top until somebody knocks me off,
so those are just 2 entries.
Break.
Delete
this fucker.
Top viewers stream link, remove the space S1
Delete this fucker out of here.
T2.
What do you mean by 2 entries?
Mighty Mork, shut up, idiot.
Yeah, shut up, idiot. Get the hell out of here. So, yeah.
Nothing but retro, fastest time, best score, 2 leaderboard entries.
That's right. But when you, oh fuck, I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. I have no idea what I'm talking about now.
Nothing but retro, I got like 20, so it's confusing a bit.
Just go bit by bit, you know? And the main thing is you don't want to overscope your project, dude. Like, that's going to be the end of you. If you overscope everything and you make everything take forever to put together, even as like a... Are you familiar with what a vertical slice is? You've really got to get to that as soon as possible, or you're going to burn yourself out trying to implement absolutely everything, you know? You need to, like, make a level, find out something that works, make a couple levels, get relevant things in there. You know, like your KD ratio and stuff like that. Like, I don't think you really need a leaderboard for that. It might be interesting to have a look at the stats afterwards, but, like, you don't really need that. You know what I mean? You start with something that's easy to work with, and then get all your ducks in a line, and then start to scale things out. You know what I mean? Because I think you've been working on this game for a while, haven't you? And, like, while that's cool, you can't let scope creep.
Nothing but retro, I want to get something playable ASAP.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just make a level. Like, because all I've seen from your stuff is, like, testing environments and stuff like that, which is cool. That's really what you should do. But at the same time, you should be working on what we call an MVP, a minimal viable product. And that is what you can show people, what you can give to people, and then be like, this is what the game's going to look like, you know? Instead of having to show them something and then explain what the end product is going to look like. And, you know, that's the power of a vertical slice. So even if you make one level, just make one level where you've got, you know, not everything, but like a good amount of things in there. Let's say, like, you know, I'm seeing you're working on like game servers and stuff like that already. It's like, I wouldn't even bother with that stuff until like I've actually made a couple levels, or, you know, made like a mode or something like that where it makes sense. And that's not because you can't do it. It's just because, like, scope wise, like, if you don't go bit by bit, you're creating this like net, and every time you change one thing,
retro, yeah, I've got an idea of what I want to see, and it's basically everything. Haha. So yeah. Yeah.
So it's you're creating like this big net, like this big web of like code, you know, code, resources, like features, all that sort of stuff, right? And then what we got is what's called splash damage.
Head 23, I watched your ragdoll video and tried to repeat it, but every time the bones fell through the floor and collected in a pile.
Well, you didn't do it right then. Just being honest, you didn't follow it right. Maybe you skipped through some stuff, but you have to make the bones the right size. You have to make sure the scale's the right size. Yeah, you didn't follow it right. if you need to follow it again, use all of the resources that I provided, including like my player model and stuff like that, and work from there. You know, like follow along what I did, and then try and apply it to your own thing. Size of the bones as well is going to be a big one. If you don't resize those bones, then like it's just going to fall through the ground. It's just going to bam, completely gone. Because if you're using your own custom thing, sometimes the bones, when you create them, they're like absolutely skinny. They're skinny as shit. They barely exist, you know, and that's why things fall through the ground. But it really all depends on your setup, you know. Every now and then, like, one of the bones will fall through the ground, but, like, that's whatever, you know. Those are the things that you've got to solve with, like, damping, extra code, things like that. But the general way that you do ragdolls is just, like, grab all the bones, you hit physical, you know, create physical skeleton or whatever. And yeah. So, Misty, my boy. All I'm saying is
Nothing
make a
but
level.
retro fuck ragdolls, but I love them.
Yeah, I love them too. But yeah, sometimes you just got to add a bit of damping. Or you use like a combination of animation and ragdoll, you know? So, what I think you should do, Misty, is create a level. A level that you can pass. A level that you can run from start to finish.
Nothing but
It's
retro.
got all of your
I've got
keys,
the
all of your
subway level
features.
working on. I need 3 levels.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, and I'm not saying this to like be a dick or whatever. I'm saying this because these are the lessons that I learned. And that was that if I spend too long implementing features and not actually creating a game, then I have essentially a sandbox. And that's really not where you want your headspace to be. You want like a little bit of innovation, like isolated innovation, and you want a little bit of problem solving. So mechanics that you add to the game because they solve a problem, whether that's having fun or whether that is, you know, like a specific direction you want to take the game story or whatever, you know. And you come up with that idea and then you implement that because you have a need for it, or you're just looking at these features and you're implementing them because you have a want for them. You know what I mean? And the best thing that you can do is just make things as you go. In my experience anyway, because I got locked down. Like I get a lockdown a lot. Like even right now, like I'm not even sure I want the minimap in this game. You know, I added this minimap in so I knew how to do it when I made the tutorial.
Nothing but retro, yeah, obviously lots of things I've created I'm not even going to use, but it was just a learning experience.
Yeah, and the general rule that I give to you is if you're going to do that, do it outside of your main project. Do that in an isolated project. Like make copies if you have to. Not into this sort of music anymore. Yeah, Goldie. Do it in a separate project. Keep things ultra clean, right? Because it'll keep you motivated. Like it really will. Like once things start to get too complicated, like I said, that web or that net gets too big. Like I said, oh yeah, I didn't even finish what I was saying. You've got splash damage. So we all know what splash damage is from like video games,
Nothing
you know?
But retro, lol. I've rearranged my file setup a few times. It's 95 Pro OCD.
Yeah. What was I saying? Splash damage. So yeah, you throw a grenade, it explodes, you got splash damage. Same thing applies when you're working on a project that's getting quite complicated. You change one thing, you got to think about the splash damage of all of that, you know? If you have a clear vision of what you want your game to be, then like that's cool. Like I would literally, like if I knew exactly what I wanted my end product to look like, there is no harm in creating all of the feature set all at once. You know what I mean? You can do that. That's fine. But if you don't know, then like it's really hard to like add things where it makes sense. Yo, the full screen follows will never not be funny. The full screen.
700 high.
Welcome to the fucking fun, boys. What was that? What was that name? At dash. Is that how you say it? AHT-Z? What's up, baby? And
Game
gamer
700, how are you?
game rat.
Nothing but retro. I've had to go over and redo things
Ah,
a few
Ahmed.
times. It makes more sense
There we
now
go,
to me.
Gamer
Someone else
Ahmed.
can look at it and make sense of it. That's good enough.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, but like what I'm saying is, like, in my experience, the more projects I'm working on, the better, because then I've got a feeling of how to do something, you know? Like when I was working on Unaccessible, I didn't just add features as I went. I actually created a separate project. I did the minimum viable amount, you know? So like literally no assets, nothing. If I'm just doing something with the UI, I'll create a new project. I'll mess around with the UI, see if that's the way that things work. I might even use like the web Godot, you know, the Godot for web, just to like, if I'm like at work or something like that, or if I'm not at home, I'll just like open up the Godot web app, you know, what's it called? Like the web Godot. And then I'll like create the structure that I'm thinking about. How cool is that, the moon?
Nothing but retro, lol, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll just fucking, you know, sort it all out, and then, yeah, wisdom, what's good, baby? Wah wah wee wah. Yeah, and it's not just the behave. There's a ton of them. These fucking overlays, bro, are the best. Oh yeah, if you're on Twitch, by the way, this doesn't work. Ahmed, I'll get you in a second. How you doing, bro? We've got the YouTube and we've got the Twitch that are kind of separate. Yeah, we've got like 4 or 5 different fucking what's it called? Yeah, welcome to the stream, dude. Ahmed, I'm going good. I am putting together this game. Hold on, I'm gonna make the It's good somebody remembered that we have all the channel points. See, the problem was that like I streamed
0mm first message LMAO, I fucking love it, buddy.
Yeah, okay. We've also got another system where, I don't know if you guys like Tourette's Guy. If you type !TG on Twitch, then you can get Tourette's Guy, random Tourette's Guy ones. Obviously not the ones that are going to TOS me. We've also got !Gordon. That plays a random Gordon Ramsay quote. Here, I'll get you started.
Absolutely pathetic.
Game 700, can you help me? My team and I are developing a battle royale game and we're having some issues. Do you have a Discord server ID like to join our group and help us out?
Help you out? I don't know. You guys can ask me questions and shit as long as like you're not like in your really early development stages. Because if you've just got a concept and you want to make a battle royale, that's almost as bad as telling somebody that you want to make an MMO and all you've got is a bunch of pages and plans. Where I can't really help you if you don't know what you're doing. And if you want to pay me to do something, that's a bit different, but the Discord should be below in the description. So if you want to come join the Discord and talk game dev though, like I'm all ears. I got nothing better to do. Like these boys know, like we're in there every day just talking shit, you know? Mainly about game dev, because that's pretty much what I do with most of my days these days.
Wise 0mm, bro, this stream is fucking awesome.
Thanks, man. I think look, I've been jumping around on these like slum rooftops for ages, right? But that's why I added it in, because I was running around on the floor and I was like, I wonder what it'd be like if I could jump over these like buildings, right? And this is what I mean by you've got your features that you want to add, like add parkour just for the fuck of it, and then you've got features that you add because it's fucking swag and it's actually fun, right? And that's the difference. One is experimentation, and yeah, this is, okay, I can't take full credit for this. Like I said, this is an add-on called Sky 3D. Hold on, let me get back. This is an add-on called Sky 3D. So it creates 2 layers of clouds. It has a day-night cycle and then a physical sky that's been like tweaked to the nines, you know? And it is really, really great. Like, at some point, I might implement my own day-night cycle, but I think for right now, it really doesn't matter. This is kind of nice because, like I was saying to chat before, I kind of like the juxtaposition of like, you know, like the ratty ass, like slummy slums with the concrete and the metal.
How many fucking viewers on YouTube homes?
The wobbly
At Dash, what is
on
the
viewers. Oh, not too many on YouTube. I think we've got like We got like 2 viewers on YouTube at the moment. It goes up and down. Sometimes we get to like 5. I think like I've had streams where like it's gone up to like, you know, 15, 16. I'm just like, damn. Because that's my main platform, by the way, boys. Go follow me on YouTube. We're almost at 2,000 subs, which I'm super happy about. This is a game that I'm working on here, just to show you. I want to call it, the joke was master baiter because you're making bait, but I think bait maker is also funny. Although that's just a working name, bait maker or beta. I think his beta is kind of fun. Where what you do is you're making.
This game
you're
looks
in a.
sick, my man. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. This is all made in Blender, by the way. Hold on, I can pull that up as well. Where the idea of the game is like you make bait for fishermen. So you're like living in a slum. It's like a rags to riches kind of game, you know. And this is just a slummy kind of area. Hold on. Is this gonna work? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So this is all made in Blender. This is the first game I've ever actually created like a terrain and buildings and shit like that actually inside Blender, as opposed to in the game engine with something like the Terrain 3D. You know what I mean? Like something that can make terrain. I don't know if you guys use Godot, but Terrain 3D is like, you know, like Unity has a terrain tool, Unreal has a terrain tool, but Godot doesn't. And the closest thing to the tool is Terrain 3D.
What's your favorite coding language? And yeah, I love Godot.
Bro, I love Godot. I come from a land down under. I come from using Python, so Python is my like main language when it comes to like just coding. So picking up GD script was so easy, so freaking easy. Like it really is like the same thing. So we've got a little slum that we're working on as well, and I'm trying to work out like the different zones of the island.
Dude, you're the man. Thanks for the minimap tutorial, the PS2 character, and the grabbing items tut.
Hey, what's up? Seth Walker, my boy.
Super easy to pick up for sure.
Fucking, you're a legend, man. Thanks for popping in to let me know that. I always appreciate that. Hearing from you guys is great. I really do read the comments, all of them.
If you like anything more than Python, you're a masochist.
Yeah, pretty much, man. These days, you know, like the vibe coder said. I actually went to a cursor meeting.
I joined the Discord channel.
Went to a cursor meeting.
Description. Can you enter our server? Its name is Shedderground.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, all right? I went to a cursor meeting. It was like a vibe, you know, cursor, vibe coding, like, vibe coding uses Claude for most of its back end, but everything else. I went to a cursor meeting last year, and they made a joke, and that was what did he say? He said the hot new language to code in is the English language. The hot new coding language is English. And I thought that was really funny. I actually did. I laughed, and like people also chuckled. You know, it was like a free event. They gave us pizza and beer. It was kind of cool. Yeah, I know. Times are changing, you know, and like whether you want to get used to it or not is up to you. I don't vibe code that much, especially not with Godot.
Inspired by Bat Leland's Royale, it was great, but unfortunately it stopped.
Especially not Godot, you know. Godot, I think it suffers from being so new that vibe coding doesn't really work with it, but it's kind of like good, you know. Like the problem with Unity is anytime you try and do anything, like you're creating so many freaking scripts, bro. C#, you're creating so many scripts, and not even that, like you've got to have like do all these imports and all that sort of stuff. It's like when your IDE is inside the game engine, like look at that, look how nice that is. It's just bam, extends. There's no importing, there's no, you know, game object, whatever. These are the game objects, you know. That's how you put together. There's so much boilerplate. That is a perfect way to put it. Oh my god, it is so, you're like, you have to wade through all of the BS, right? So this eventually will become like vibe coding go-to, I think, in the future, but it's probably still a couple years away, right? Because Godot also doesn't have that like industry standard
ground server and help us
what's it
make
called?
Just help us, we have some errors.
Dude, for fuck's sake, we'll talk about it later, okay?
People forget it's about
Okay, I'll come and maybe join your fucking
keyboard.
server, but don't beg me, okay? Jesus Christ, dude, calm down. But you know, talk shit on my server. That's cool. Jesus Christ, bro. I'm gonna need to get some mods for YouTube as well.
GameRom 700, please sir, just enter the Shutterground server and help us make it. Just help us, we have some
Dude,
errors.
okay, no, I'm not doing this, bro.
01 godot is 60 MB also.
I'm putting you in a timeout, bro. Give me 30 minutes timeout. Dude, stop spamming that shit. I swear to God. Thanks for the follow, though. Thanks for checking me out. Thanks for the support and all that shit. But, dude, don't spam in my chat. If I have to have that fucking TTS, like, slam in my ear while I'm trying to talk, I'm going to get so pissed off. Godot is 60 megabytes also. Yeah, and we were talking about how you can run it through the web as well, which is crazy. GD script is incredibly easy. Like, dude, look at this. So you've got, I think on Unity it's called, like, awake. You've got your ready function. And then I think, what's it called? It's called update. The update function, or method, or whatever you want to call it, is that. And yeah, Godot is just so much easier, dude. Oh my God. So what was I doing at the moment? I think what I was doing was I was trying to work out the nighttime lighting. Oh yeah, I was saying that I don't really...
84 time delta time.
That I don't really... Yeah, that's it, yeah. Time.delta time. We've kind of got something like that, I think. We've got... In all of your update functions...
Understand the built-in functions, it's like... Oh,
so yeah, you've got your delta right there kind of thing. But if you want to get it, what is it? It's like get tree dot... Nah, it's like... Oh shit, I shouldn't do that. Process time. Time dot... Delta? Nah, there's a way to do it. I don't really use it that much though, because there's not really any need to do that in this.
Nothing but retro OS time.
Get delta time. Is it os.time? Nah, it's time.delta time. Get process delta time. Get process delta time. There it is, right?
8284. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you. The TDS is crazy.
No, you're right. Look at that gamer Ahmed guy go. He just fucking spammed the same shit over and over again, dude. And it's not that I want to, like, you know, keep anybody out, but it's like, bro, don't spam at me, bro. You wanna talk to me on Discord, you know? That TTS voice is like, bro, eventually it's going to need moderation, but, you know, right now, I don't really care. So, if we're doing anything in the physics process, we don't need the delta time. Thanks, Ahmed, though. I appreciate your support, but, like, dude, chill out. That's all I'm saying. So, if we wanted to get the delta time at any point that wasn't inside a function that has delta as an input, that's how you would do it, right? Get process delta time. There's probably get physics delta time as well. You know, time since last physics frame. Probably definitely a thing. So, in this game, I need to create items, right? I need to have an inventory. And I need to, here, let's do this, okay? I'm going to take a screenshot of the game while it's daytime.
Crypto Moriarty 01, we getting a Yabbies DLC.
Well, that's it. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to have in the game, you know, like yabbies and like shrimp, maybe like barnacles that you can scrape off the side of, like, you know, the jetties and stuff. Like a scavenging game that's also a bit of a collectathon, which at the moment is kind of like hard to conceptualize how we can make, how it can, dude, yeah, there's got to be shrimp. You said that you were going to send me a picture of shrimp. I can't remember if you did it or not, but that was for, fuck, what was that for? That was for Sedated, which I haven't actually worked on in a little while. I'll put that up. it's just been a little while and I haven't really looked at it. I've been working on this instead. You know, your Blender skills have kind of gotten me motivated to mess around with Blender a little bit more. So this entire thing is made with Blender, and all of the stuff that I'm doing, like with all of these buildings and stuff, is just Blenderized, you know? Like, I'm just working out how to use Blender properly to, like, make
Forlorn
stuff.
creature looking good, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I know it's not great, but, like, me being able to make, like, even terrain that looks like this is such a huge step forward for me in terms of, like, using Blender. And I definitely recommend it to anybody watching. It's actually really fun. I've really been enjoying it. What can we do? I think what I was mainly doing was trying to suss out these different areas in the game. So what I wanted to do was take a screenshot of the game. I wanted to find a nice area. That's kind of nice. Look at that. Does that not, like, is that not nostalgic? You know what I mean? That to me feels really nostalgic. Don't know why. How you been, dude? Anyway. What was I saying to you, Misty Retro? Yeah, just make some levels. Like, I think put them to use. Put all of your, like, all of the stuff in your game to use. And then see what happens. We also need to make the water look like that. Potentially like that. So I gotta work out why an orthographic camera does that. I'm just gonna make a different water for the map. That's fine. And who was that was thanking me about the things? The PS2 character, mini-map tutorial, and grabbing items. Yeah, man, Seth, you're welcome, dude.
Multiplayer stuff working properly with Steam that early was video isn't advanced enough.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem. This shit is hard, dude.
Forlorn creature just chillin' trying to install a water purifier, but I'm not a plumblier, lol.
Shit. So I want a couple different things, and we're gonna need to work them out right now. The first thing is where we're gonna have the inventory on the screen.
Nothing but retro had to learn RPC calls. I'll figure it out. It'll take me a week to get a Counter-Strike game going.
Need to have RPCs and also use the synchronizing nodes, because the synchronizing nodes are good. And you use a lot less code when you use them. So don't do everything with RPCs, okay? That's my only advice. And that's something that I learned the hard way.
Nothing but retro, yeah, those are in use, good call.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you have to learn about RPCs. So there's like authority for RPCs, where you can say the client can call it, and then it'll call on every other computer, which you obviously don't want to have much of, but if it's client controlled, then you kind of do. Like if you change your name, or if you're... I wouldn't really do it with a sending message system either. I use peer-to-peer for that, or P2P channel for that.
Nothing but retro, yeah, I learned that host can only call, server can only call, or anyone can call.
Yeah, so it's up to you to decide each function, which honestly to me is kind of cool. Like, I love having that much control over stuff when it comes to programming, not in real life. Jesus.
Nothing
we're creating
but retro, LOL.
Need to get this done quickly. Blue is probably the wrong color to choose, but just so we've got something to look at. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dude, I amaze myself. I did that without even trying. So, actually, maybe we need 1 as well for 0. Whatever, dude. How many does, like, Minecraft have? Fuck it. We're gonna do 10. We're gonna do 10. So we need to have a hotbar of some sort. This is what I'm thinking. So we can get like dead fish low poly. Like this. As long as I can resize this here. So I'm trying to figure out what I want the inventory to look like. Whether I want there to be a hotbar, because I think this should be a hotbar. But how's that going to work, boys? We're going to walk up and then we can press the button.
Nothing but retro Minecraft has 9 for the hotbar.
9, okay. Well, we're better than Minecraft, aren't we? So then we can have a little number down here, you know. 3. Something like that. And this is not even that hard to make in Godot. I don't know if you guys know how to do this sort of stuff, but we kind of need to come up with like what we want it to look like first. So if we've got 3, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like the hotbar. No, we have to have a hotbar, don't we? Because I kind of want there to be tools. So fish isn't going to be a tool. Or maybe all of the items you can hold in your hand. Some of the items can do stuff. But you can drop anything that's in your hand. You know what I mean? We'd kind of have to make an item system. Now, I'm thinking in terms of like Minecraft. Like that's pretty much how Minecraft does it, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing but retro.
Shit is hard to conceptualize, you know. Let's switch to this other one. Wait, okay, this is map regions. This is kind of fun as well. When it wants to work. Hold on. Okay, look at this. So we can work out the different regions of the game. So down here, there's going to be like some sort of dock. But it's going to be like a slum dock, you know? So this is like Tall Jetty. Tall Jetty is going to be like this big. Tall Jetty, that's what we call that. There's a kind of rich section around here. This is like a general store is what I want that to be. I don't know if I explained that to you guys. Like when we play it like around here. Hold on. Let me try that again. Where is it? There it is. Okay. This here is like a general store. That's why it's kind of accessible from a bunch of different angles. Because there'll be like plants and stuff here, so you don't want to get in there, but the store is going to be here. And actually, I might make a tutorial in the future on how to make a store.
Nothing but retro. I haven't played many indie games, but Thief Simulator and American Theft 1985 was dope, held my attention.
Yeah, dude. American Theft 1985 I played a bit of. I haven't finished it. But Thief Simulator, hilarious. That game is fucking funny as hell. And it's worth playing again. Game fucking rules. Check it out. You see? If it's too high for you to jump up, it just plops you up on top of it. That's my vaulting parkour system. That's how rudimentary it is. But I also made it so if you're mid-air, you can hit space again and it does the check again. As long as you're like, you know, not on the ground. Yeah, it's not a jump, dude. That needs a little bit of work there. Look at that. True. I thought I fixed all of that. Look, a little bit of parkour. Bam! Look at that. What other sound effects do you have?
Bruh, bruh, bruh.
Oh yeah, I forgot we added the bruh.
Bruh.
We got that one as well. You like that?
Bruh.
Thief Simulator. I got to the 3rd neighborhood, and there was one level I was like really mad. I couldn't beat it. It's really hard though. I'm going to continue to scatter some lights around the area as well right here, because it doesn't feel complete. We gotta put better music on as well. It's been pretty shit. Okay, maybe like that. And we need to get a little
Nothing
bit
but
back
retro. I beat both
here.
of them. It's hard, but there's always a pattern.
Yeah, I know. It's just annoying, dude. Especially because like those guards never leave. I don't think there's like a hole in their schedule, or it's so tight. Like the maneuver of them switching is so tight that like it just sucks to do, you know. But
Nothing
like
but retro,
fantastic
the police
games.
Station 1.
I haven't done the police station, and this is it. Like maybe I should go back. Dude, I really want to like recess these doors. Yeah, I might do that right now, actually. Come with me. While we recess these doors. Come with me. Yeah, like this. So what I've been doing is just going in, scale it down. Well, I probably shouldn't. I'll select a little bit more, scale it up. It's really dodgy as well, but I kind of like the way that it looks. This should also be probably... Nah, I like this. This is like one of the first of the buildings that I made. Let's select these. Unwrap. We're going to get rid of this one down here. Well, that's one. This, recess it back a little bit. Make it a bit smaller. Control plus, get rid of that, and then unwrap it again. Bad. Smart UV, nah, dude. Fuck it. Looks like crap, but I don't care. It's part of the like game aesthetic, I think. Making it look a little bit like shit. So recess this. Control plus, remove that, unwrap. Yeah, looking a little bit like shit is a little bit of the aesthetic. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. And then we export it. Then we go back to Godot. Somebody was asking me how I do this, and this is how I do it. We go back over to here, take slums, we slap that in there. Sometimes if it doesn't update, all we got to do is double click, re-import. F5 that, and let's go have a look at what that looks like. It's crazy, as I add more stuff, oh, we got another door to recess. We've also got to fix up the angle of that. Dude, this music sucks. sucks, bro. There we go. That's what's up. There we go, recessed. It's the right size. So a little bit like Schedule 1, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have people live at these houses. And each one of those houses is just going to be one of these doors. Because there's a couple doors up there. Door here. Door there, door there, door there. You know, and creating a bunch of characters, like, it's not going to be hard, but also it doesn't have to be one-to-one. Each door has a person living in it. I just have to have, you know, as many as I like. I just have to have enough doors to be able to do all of the narrative design that I want to do, I guess. I like this bit here, but I'm not sure what to put in the middle. You know, it doesn't feel super natural. Maybe another building of some sort, yeah. Like an archway that goes across here as
Forlorn
well.
creature tree.
A tree, yeah,
Seth
it's...
Walker 8284 could be a Guy's melon stand or something.
Yeah, I like that. I'm thinking, like, there has to be, like, little stores. If I put a tree there, people will still walk through it. Like... And then I would rather change the way that the footpath is. Like, you know what I mean? I would make it so it doesn't look like this.
Sundial.
A sundial. Yeah, I'm going to have a sundial in here at some point. You know what's funny is, like, in Sky 3D, you can actually set, like, your longitude and latitude and, like, where your UTC and the actual date. So it's obviously just got the ephemerides. Like, there's an ephemerides algorithm for the sun and the moon, and they're just like creating. It's cool. It's called Sky 3D. You've got to go download it from it, dude. It's so beautiful. Like, obviously this is like a Creative Commons, like Skybox or something like that, but it's all been packaged into this like beautiful day-night sky
just wondering,
cycle.
with the island, the grass, the dirt, the tracks, etc., do you apply material slots to the faces, or is it painted on in some way?
Okay, so the grass, the dirt, the tracks. Let me blow your mind.
Seth Walker 8284 better than half the stuff they are charging money for.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's what's beautiful about Godot is, like, everybody feels that open source spirit of, like, not charging for stuff. Even like my tutorials, it's like I haven't made a course because I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care enough to make a course, bro. Like, I just want to teach people how to do cool stuff. And that's kind of like what you get from all of the like good plugins. And like the good plugins are the stuff that people know are missing from the core functionality of Godot. And so you just don't feel right, like, you know, like selling it, you know? Like, the reason I've got my Patreon is because I want to give people a shortcut for coding, you know, but all of my YouTube tutorials, I show you exactly what to write. I get, like, if you're impatient, then you can go to my freaking, my Patreon. That's what it's there for. And people actually do pay to just, and I've done it before as well. Like, I've what's his name? Chaff Games. Like, I've subscribed to him because I wanted to like play around with one of his thingamabobs, and I just like couldn't be fucked typing it, you know. Okay, so the way that this works is this is all one mesh, right? The terrain, sorry, like this is actually split into a couple different meshes based on, like, you know, collisions and stuff like that I want. Like, I've got a layer here called no collision, and that's for like the tarps, you know, where I don't want the player to bump their head on like this tarp here, because, you know, so I've got it split into like a bunch of different layers, right? And the terrain layer is obviously exactly the same. It's just made up of a bunch of quads and stuff like that. But the way that you assign different textures to the ground is like, you know, first of all, let me just say that I started with the tracks. I actually created this, you know, like all of this bullshit here. I created all of this first, right? And then I actually went and I moved it, you know, into like some kind of like, you know, wobbly, you know, area that I kind of liked. And then I created the terrain around that. Like, it actually grew from the tracks themselves into the rest of the terrain. And that makes the most sense to me, because you don't have to then go and knife your way through the terrain to make it all look nice. You know, like, there are some areas where the terrain doesn't look great. The topology of the terrain doesn't look great. But I'm really happy with, like, most of the topology of all of this. I don't know how well that comes across on stream, but I'm quite happy with the topology as well. Because I started with the track, like I said, and I created, you know, like, this area inside here. And I think I did a little bit of it on stream or something. I can't remember. Maybe I recorded a little bit of it. I'm not sure. But I just create all of these little bits and bobs, you know? Like, just create all of that, which we should probably bring that down, actually, while we're at it. You know, using, like, all of this bullshit. But the way that you texture, right, is any one of these faces you can assign a different texture to. And if you want to create a new texture, you just go bam, and then let's say, what's something that we need to actually create? I kind of want a different concrete. So I'm just going to go look for a different concrete PNG. I think this one's kind of cool. Concrete plane.png. Just going to quickly convert it to JPEG, so it doesn't take up, I mean, it should be at least a quarter less heavy. So let's say in here, I want to create, like, a little bit of concrete. Let's say, actually, we'll do it here. We'll change the concrete a little bit on the building, on the ground, right? To the different concrete. So I've got concrete 1 over here that I've already created. And then I think we create... Yeah, okay, we've got to fix this as well, because they're using... Yeah, interesting. It's like doubling up. You see, we've got 2 versions of everything. So we've got to work that out. Ugh. I'll work that out in my own time. Don't worry about that, chat. So if I want to add extra concrete here, what I can do is I can go plus, and then I can type concrete 2. Go new concrete 2. And then I'm going to assign concrete 2 to these faces. So I'm also going to do it to all of this bullshit, right? Just all of that, all of this. I think that's pretty much everything. And then I've got to assign it. And then what I can do is, over in shading, I'm looking at concrete 2 here. And then all I've got to do is drag and drop concrete down into here. And then connect it with the node. And then look. Bam. Obviously, we can change the roughness and shit like that here. We just want to have it at 1, because that's going to translate over into Godot as well. I've been going nearest or closest for all of my textures, just to keep things looking a little bit legit. It's also rendered at, like, a lower resolution. I don't know if you can tell. And then we need to go clean up unused data blocks. No, we're all good. Hit save. We'll go export as a GLTF, slums.glb. And then I can go back over into Godot and then re-import that. Wait for it, re-import that.
Forlorn creature, are you creating colliders on import? I don't see COL suffixes.
Ah, I am. And like I said, I've broken down the layers in Blender to have no collision layers, and then like, you know, like the water. I don't have a collision layer on the water, blah, 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 right? So that's my logic in why I'm breaking it down the way that I'm breaking it down in Blender. And then what you do is you can double click on, and I'm going to show you this. You can double click on, let's say slums.glb here. And then inside this is your best friend. Honestly, this is your freaking best friend. What I do is I go and find the thing that I want. Houses, for instance. And then over here, we've got generate physics. So if that's turned off, it doesn't do anything. But if we turn that on, it'll automatically create a collision shape for it, right? And then that's when you can set like your layer and your mask and all of that sort of bullcrap, and even all of this stuff. Yeah, interesting. A few mesh thing. I actually haven't looked at that. That's a good way to do like a collision. You just do it all through there, like in your import settings, and then you wouldn't need to ever change it again. Very interesting. If you're doing it manually anyway. And then clear all that, who cares? And then when you run it, bada bing, bada boom, it's like already a collision shape. Pretty cool. So then, bam, look, we've got our concrete. Because that all imported as part of the 3D model. Which obviously what you've got to do is... where is it?
Interesting approach, starting with track and expanding from there. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, honestly, it's really... I've never done it before. At all, but like, look, my track is good, and really at the end of the day I wanted my track to be nice, you know. So I just created a road layout or whatever you want to call it, and then you know, you grab one face and then you choose like the soft selection brush, you know what I mean, the soft selection brush, what do you call it, proportional editing, right, where you can grab your thing, and then if you turn it on up here, it's a sick little button. You can actually change the shape of what you want it to look like, right? And then you, what do you call it? Like hit S, for instance. You can use the scroll wheel to like change the amount of influence, you know? So like, let's say we wanted to move it up. We can use the scroll to actually move up more than just, you know, the thing. So let's say we wanted to have like a little mound here. Hit insert. If I wanted to make the mound bigger or smaller, I could grab this node, move it up and down.
COL to a mesh to add tri-mesh collision shape automatically, or convol for simple collision.
Add col to a mesh to add tri-mesh collision shape automatically. Or convol. Yeah, but why would that be good in Blender? I don't use Blender enough to know. Like, I use Blender enough to be able to get it into Godot, and then that's it. We can delete this as well. I don't want that shit anymore. Then we can go clean up, unused data blocks. Nah, all good. Yeah, that's how we do it. I'm not really happy with that concrete though.
Nothing but retro. When you export this map to GLB to import into Godot, you don't have to create the collision shapes by hand in Godot anymore.
No. Oh, I never do anyway. Like, you just do... Oh, you mean like as a static body? Yeah, you don't need to do that at all. So, look, my entire level is one single node right now. You see that? It's one single node. Because everything that I need to have as part of that static mesh or that static thing, I've just got inside the node, you know? And that to me is clean as fuck, right?
To be split up for this to make sense.
So then, like I said, in here, all you have to do, you double click on it. All you have to do is click on the surface that you want. So this is my like floor surface, and then make sure that physics is enabled on it, you know, and then it'll automatically create a static body 3D. You see, it's. Dude, I didn't know you could change that.
So when you reimport
create a rigid body 3D, that's
an inherited scene or as a model on another scene, if that makes sense.
I wouldn't open it in another scene.
Retro
you know,
on import.
So if I open this, it's going to open an inherited scene. So you know about this, right? Like this thing. If I go to open that, it's going to be like, yo, you want to create a scene? No. So you want to do as much as you possibly can inside that importing thing, right? Like that's, if you didn't learn any other lesson, check your import. Dude, look at all these fucking import options. Check your import options, right? And then make a good use of it. Make good use and take advantage of it. So this is what I was talking about, like having two different dirt textures, for instance. Oh no, look. Yeah, look, we got two brick floors. Do we have two shore sands? No, we've got rocks. Yeah, interesting. So we've got brick floor that shares between these two. Might have to get rid of that, you know. It'd be this one, the slum houses. So
For
what you can do
Creature,
here,
if you go to the Materials tab, it'll show the list.
yeah, this one. And then what you can do is you can use external right here. And this is how I was creating. Look, I've already got one here. This is my PlayStation version of it. So I don't know if you guys remember last time I was streaming, I showed you the PlayStation version of this level. What I've done instead is I've gone for a more, and I can show you what that looks like actually. So wood, I'm going to need to go over to the wood. And then we can change our project settings to have vertical snap intensity at 2. Yeah, look, you can see the wobble. If I go up to something that's wood,
TJasaurus,
you see that?
to come and split up like that. Did you create collections in Blender, or does Blender actually have layers?
Blender's got layers, bro. Yeah, Blender's got layers. You see that? So in my different layers, I've got houses on one layer, right? Houses on one layer. And then, like, the way that it works is if I want to add something to this layer as well, what I can do is I can choose the layer itself and then just go add cube and then bring the cube up. And now this cube is part of this layer, you know, so I can just do whatever I want. I can begin to, you know, like line things up.
Creature, does the wobble affect FPS much? TJasaurus
it will.
chat in the way.
The chat's in the way. Nah, don't worry about that down there. The layers are up here. You know? Look at this though. Yeah, there's not much I can do about the chat as well. Like, I'm thinking I'll change it a little bit because it's kind of ugly. No. No. Yeah, so look at that. A little bit of wobble. I'm sure it does affect the FPS because, like, we're doing extra.
Nothing but retro,
you know?
trippy.
We're doing extra steps. So anyway, that is part of, like, what I've done is I've created a material, wood planks, right? And that's what this is. It's a shader. It's like a, what's it called? Universal Retro Shader. And yeah, it's got wood. It's got wood. It's got a wood thing. And then when we import, you know, we just make sure that our wood planks is being overtaken here by the material that we create. So I'm going to turn that off because I don't want that. It doesn't receive shadows or anything like that. Oh no, dude. Oh no, dude. Landon left, bro. Fish tank. Landon's out. Damn it, dude. I had stocks on Landon, dude. Okay, let's have a look at this. Dude, I haven't changed that yet. I gotta get the Rembot Games logo to show up when I start the thing. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. That's usually like the first thing I do. Get that logo in there.
Forlorn Creature, how do you save old versions as you're building a project?
I built a tool So what I do is, first of all, I put a version in. So I should actually put a version in here. So 0.0.1 we'll have. And every time I build that, we'll go 0.1.1. Every time, sorry, this is in the project settings. You just go to version in application. 0.1.1. Every time I build the game, I'll increase that number. I'll come back into the settings and I'll increase that number. And yeah, you just, make backups. Yeah, I'll show you my backup system actually. For my builds. Big Boom Casino. Here we go. Digitizer, DJ Sim. Dodgy. Backups. Where is it? I actually have a script that I run. You could just vibe code this if you wanted as well. And what it does is it takes the entire directory that I'm currently working on. It saves a copy of it into a zip file, and then it stores that zip file in a backups folder. And so all it asks me when I run the code is, I think I've got a version where I type in like this is what it comes up with a selection, and I choose the game that I'm working on, and then it just creates the backup. It asks me what version I'm up to, 0.0.1 or 0.1.1, and then it creates a backup. D drive backups.
Seth Walker 8284 sounds like Git but not Git.
Yeah, like I've got my own way of doing it, and then periodically I'll upload those to Google Drive because I already pay for that. I'm trying to find where all my backups are, dude. I feel like a fucking idiot. Where are they? Pull unaccessible. Here we go. So unaccessible. Here you go. I'm doing this like off cam, so you don't have to look at my shit. These are all of my backups for unaccessible. These are all on Google Drive as well. So that's what, 66 different files in here. So I've got basically every single step I've taken of the way. Like this is my 1.0. Yeah, version 1.0 right there. That's kind of cool. Look at that. So, yeah, look, that's how many updates I've done since the game released. That's pretty sick. Last one I did was what, like 2 months ago to the day? No? No, this was 0.5, dude. Wait, maybe I haven't done a backup recently.
Seth Walker 8284 I should make backups. I'm sort of just going until I can't update the project anymore, and I'll just perceive that as a message from the universe.
No, dude. Think about this. If you're investing your time into making games, every hour of work that you lose, you think about that's how much money you've just lost, Think about the hours that you work on a project. Like, you need to ensure that you don't fucking do it for nothing, and that's the only reason I update. I mean, that's the only reason I make backups.
Nothing but retro. I have to move my project over to Linux to see what the hell is going on. Seth Walker
who cares?
8284, it's the process that matters though.
That's right. The process matters. Like I said, just vibe code an app. Vibe code a Python app.
If something breaks and you need to get the working version back, LOL.
That's it. You don't even need to do any effort. As long as you got Python installed, just tell Claude, write me a code that makes a backup of this folder into a zip file. Easy, Like I made mine, I coded mine because this was a few years ago that I came up with the idea. And all it does is it just ignores the .godot folder, ignores all of the .git stuff and just makes a backup. Like, all it does is ask me. All I do is double click it. I make a different copy of it for each project that I'm working on that I want to make, like, full on backups for. And like, you can even go to the point where there's uploads to Google for you, like uploads to Google Drive for you, but like, whatever. I just do that myself. It's just one drag and drop. But tell it to just like, it loads up, it asks you what version, you go 0.1.2, hit enter. It grabs the whole directory, grabs what's important, puts it into a zip file, and then that's it, puts it into a folder. It even like names it for you and shit like that. But like telling
Nothing but
Claude to do that take like 2 seconds.
A few things uploads everything except models.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make that mistake where they'll upload like the music from their game. In the case of DJ Simulator, when I did it, no, it wasn't DJ Sim. It was some other. No, it was models. Yeah, it was a submarine game that I was working on. And
Walker 8284. All right, I'll do that. I wanted to use GitHub so everyone would take me seriously.
Nah, fuck GitHub, dude. And I like that GitHub is getting hated on now because I just fucking don't use it, dude. Like I see a lot of stuff on Twitter that's just like, a software developer's GitHub should look like this. It's like, get fucked, dude. It's a Microsoft product, dude. I'm not doing that. Fuck off. Using GitLab for version control.
Crypto Moriarty 01 get out.
GitHub?
Nothing
Don't
but
do it.
retro. I host my own instance of Gaia, works exactly the same.
That's it. That's exactly what's up. Come up with your own backup system. Don't use fucking GitHub. That's coming from me. If you're in a corporate setting, just do whatever, dude. Who gives a shit? They're probably already giving fucking half of your wage a year to fucking Microsoft. When they could just be hosting their own shit. But, everywhere is like that. Everywhere is like that.
Seth Walker 8284. It's good if you are working on a project with multiple people because then you can create pull requests and all that jazz and the version don't get all messed up.
That's right. But if you're just doing something by yourself, then like don't overcook it. That's what I keep saying to people. It's just like you need to understand scope hell. Like when you overscope things, like things just become fucked. And part of overscoping stuff is trying to make things too like legit. Like I read this post that was
Nothing
like,
but
man,
if you're working with multiple people, pool together for a local server and host your own GitLab instance. Problem solved.
Yeah, that too. Exactly. Like just work it out. I can't remember what I was gonna say. There's some bit of advice that I learned, but I guess it's not important. We're gonna get this nighttime. I really like this little shack here. I like this. What do you guys reckon? Or should that be where like this should be like a store?
Game is gonna be open world with dozens of mini games now.
Sick, dude. I think that would be the best thing you can do for a shrimp game. I just have it be like
Seth Walker 8284. That SA Prime Crab Shack.
Like you unlock like an ability to open a door, and then it's like you've seen the door at the start of the game, and you're like, ooh, and you can go back and like even warp rooms. Honestly, like even where you could like warp
Crypto Moriarty 01 make a rod store called The Real Deal.
Like an overload. You know what I mean? An overworld. Like a warp room. I'm thinking like Crash Bandicoot 3. I love that shit. But also like just those old school collectathon games. Like Spyro was like that, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Forlorn Creature. Yeah, this will probably be for Shrimp Game 2, haha.
Yeah, no shit. Make a rod store called The Real Deal. That's hilarious. I'm gonna write that one down. The Real Deal. Oh yeah, that's right. We're supposed to be making a quest system. The Real Deal. I don't know how fishing's gonna work in this game, but I'll figure it out. There we go. I'll work my shit out. Okay, so we've got
Forlorn creature,
a
just
few
steal
things that
Animal
we've got to
Crossing
work
mechanics.
on. I haven't played Animal Crossing. I've got Animal Crossing. Like, I bought it for my girlfriend. She was like, it's a bit too cutesy for me. So cool. She plays a shitload of Stardew Valley, but she wasn't really into Animal Crossing. Some sort of farming system. Okay, so I'm thinking like, first we need a way to like pick up shrimp. You know what I mean? Pick up worms. They need to like exist as items and things that you can collect. How would we do that? We can also make like doors that you can knock. Maybe we'll start with that. Okay, so I'm gonna make like an interaction shape cast. Or like an interaction system. This is like some early 2000s freaking Enya workout music. Interaction system. We're going to have a shape cast, 3D. Scratch that. It's going to be on the camera. No, it's going to be on the head. Yeah, the head. Yeah, the head. Just because then we can shake the camera around and it won't mess with the interaction. So it won't like on off while your head's shaking, you know, because you don't want that. And the head shaking could be from anything. Just, you don't want it to be, like, even from running, you know, we can make the camera like, maybe. Yeah, whatever. Shapecast 3D. We want -1, so it comes out a bit. Shape is going to be a sphere. And we're going to reset the transformation of this so it goes to the camera. Shapecast, probably 2 meters, right? 1.5. So we want to be able to collect worms. That's one of the things that we want to do first. So we'll be able to reach the ground at 2 meters, but not by too much. No, this is 1.5 plus 0.2. That's not long enough. Need to be able to reach the ground. -1.8 plus 0.2. Cool. Let's see what it looks like when we run it with collisions on. Gonna make sure it only collides with layer 1. Make sure the player isn't layer 1. It is. So we're gonna rename these world player. Perfect. Now we can reach the ground from about there, where it goes red. That's cool. That's about what we want. Let's listen to some Star Fox. Wait, is that his name? I can't remember his name. This music's starting to piss me off though. Not gonna lie. There we go. Okay, so we've got an interaction system, kind of. Also gonna need a interaction system UI. So I'm going to create a control, put it in the middle of the screen. ish. Go custom. You can't see any of this. No, not that far down. Oh my god. This is where we show on screen what the keys are. Not sure if I want it in the middle or not. Now we're going to do something a little bit unorthodox. We're going to go to the asset lib. What was I looking for? Weather. Yeah, there's not really any good weather systems. I have to make my own. We've got a rain scene that I just need to kind of set up. I haven't done it yet. Yeah, look, the rain scene. I actually really like this. This is the rain from my rally game. I really liked it, so I just copied it in. Which I was surprised at how easy it is to just copy in a particle system from another project. You just drag the .tscn file into the directory, and it's like bada bing. Crazy. Yeah, that on this would be really cool. Let's just do it. See what it looks like. A bit underwhelming. There we go, that's where we want it. Doesn't really match the amount of water that there is. That'd need a little bit of work, that would. Rain has rain sound. Yeah, it'd need a bit of work. I mean, this is good for a rally game, but obviously for this, it's a little bit different. I like it though. Probably doesn't come across too well on screen. But it looks cool. Anyway, we'll deal with that later. What was I doing? I need to set this boot splash as well. Just give me a sec. Now what happens? Ooh, Rainbow Games. Very nice. Might make the interaction a little bit longer too. I think maybe it's a little bit short. So what do I want to do with the interaction thing? Icon component. Okay, we don't want to deal with that. Look, it's the interaction system. Scenes, scripts. So I want to create a signal. The object interacted. What is it? Are they objects? Just a node, right? I don't know if that'll work. That'll probably work. Object interacted. object dropped. I don't think we need an input. What other signals do we need? I'm still connected. Everything's freaking out, dude. Did AWS data center get bombed or something? What's going on? What is happening? Okay. My internet's like freaking out. I don't know if I'm like live or not still. Okay, I think we're back. Okey-doke. Object dropped, object interacted.
Nothing but retro you are.
Okay, good. Was it wigging out just then? Everything on my computer was just like... I got some shit going. Ooh, kitty cat. There's a lot of shit I've got to set up right here. The object interaction. But yeah, we're going to do something a little bit unorthodox. That is, go to the asset lib. Type in controller icons. I absolutely love this add-on. Controller icons, bro. This shit is dope. Now get ready for your game to crash when you install this. I don't want the demo. Frick. What you can do is you can type in the name of an action and then it'll give you an icon for whatever you've got, you know, set for it. Okay, control icons on. Failed to load script. Uh-oh. Add-ons, control icons, objects, sprite 3D. Why can't you read that? What happens when we run? Okay, there it's gone. Maybe I just had to turn it on. So on the interaction system, let's have a look. That little control that we made. This I want to have. We need to have two things. So there's interact 1 and interact 2. So there's left click and right click. Yeah, left click and right click I've got set up as interact and interact 2. Controller sprite 3D. No, we don't want that. We don't want to control a texture rack. Is that deprecated? True. Texture rack. I think the way that you do it is you just go control a texture in here. I don't think I can. What the hell is going on? Just gonna reload the current project. Sometimes Godot does this. Y'all know how it is. If you're liking the stream so far, remember to hit like. If you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, let's get an exclamation mark TG in the chat.
Remember TG.
Okay, we gotta set this back up. There we go. Does that work? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. We're back. That control here. So this is called our interact. control. Text direct, controller text direct. Okay, yeah, it was, just needed a restart. Show only, force type, non-controller, path. Path is a weird name for that. But anyway, I type interact because that's left click. See? If I type in interact 2, it changes to the right click. See what I'm saying? Control icons is absolutely broken. You have to install it. It's friggin' broken, dude. It's friggin' broken, dude.
Bruh.
Nothing but retro saves a lot of time for sure.
It's broken, bro.
Bruh.
Bruh. Bruh. So next to it, Hbox, that's the one. Can we make it so it shows the name? No, it's not a thing. It'd be cool if it, like, you could stick a label on it. I'm gonna have to do this. Left click, so this would be grab. You know what I mean? Hbox. So this is interact 1.
Choco Ted, I made a godot plugin to place 3D assets.
Interact 2. That's sick. Is it what is it? There's proton scatter. I've seen that. Proton scatter looks pretty sick. I haven't used anything for placing assets, to be honest. But I would be interested because I haven't started using proton scatter, but I haven't also looked into any of the alternatives. You know what I mean? VBox. Should they be on top of each other? Yeah, probably. Interact 1 and interact 2. What is going on? Oh, there is no interact 1. It's just interact.
Choco Ted Ultimate Asset Placer.
Let's see if it's in here. Ultimate Asset Placer? Nah, do you have a GitHub for it? Ultimate Asset Placer by Choco Ted. He wasn't lying. Not a liar.
Bruh. Bruh.
Choco
Need
Ted
longer
Agile.
hands, dude. Yeah, sick, bro. Oh yeah, using Kenny's nature kit. Hey, this looks pretty cool, dude. Not gonna lie. Very cool. I'll consider it. How's that? Fucking hell. Man, I'm tired. Drop in. Yeah, cool, dude. Look cool. Thanks for dropping in. Look, swag. Grab. And right click would be like
Nothing but retro
Grabber.
manga you yawned. Grandma says that means you're hungry.
dude, mangoes. I didn't even think about fruit. So we could have like coconuts. You know what I mean?
Choco
have-
Ted, will you promote it? I can give you free copy.
Will I promote it? I haven't even used it, bro. Come and join the Discord. PM me on Discord. We can talk about it. If I use it and I like it, then, you know, we'll see. We will see. Looks kind of cool, though. I just need a little bit more time to suss it out. My Discord should be below in the description. Hello, kitty. This little cat's hungry. She's about to come up. Hello, kitty. Meow. Everyone say hello to Sav. Meow. She's like, nah, give me the food. There's no food there, cat. It's not 4 o'clock yet. Good girl. She's funny. She's a climber. She climbs around. Get on your head. Dude, she uses my face. Like, she'll literally jump across my, like, bed while using my, like, head as, like, a jumping pad. It's so funny. It's like, I'll be dead asleep and she'll just, like, run across my face. Just like, what the fuck? Because she thinks she's so little that it won't wake me up. And, like, to be fair, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to create some doors real quick because we got to try this out. Area 3D. You want an area? Yeah. With a collision shape. Area. Collision layer 1. Little kitty.
Nothing but retro lol, my cat sleeps with me.
Yeah.
I want a massive cat, imagine.
Yeah, my cat sleeps with me too. She sleeps on my side. Not all the time. She's right here. She's just like right in front of the keyboard. This is my girlfriend's cat, but my cat and her cat are like best friends now. We thought it was going to be a little bit sketchy going into it, but their actually personalities really work well together, which I'm super happy about. Gotta have a spot for the shack. Maybe this is where the shack can be. Where can you live in this game? I need to live somewhere. Right here, I think. In the thick somewhere. Like, living like here would be kind of funny. I'm like on the end here. Don't know. We'll work that out later. Anyway, let's get some doors. So I'm going to make a interactable. A layer for interactable interactions. Mask, we don't need a mask because we're in area. Eventually this will have some code attached to it, but for right now, we're not going to bother. T to switch between global and local
Nothing
coordinates,
but retro,
by the way.
knock, 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 go away.
Yeah, that's it. For right now, it's just going to be a knock. And a piss off, please. That's it. Each of these doors will be like coded. Have a bunch of code in them, obviously. You know, with like who the person I'm knocking on the door for is, etc. Door area. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. Door area, it kind of needs to kind of want to make a more generic class and then have this inherit that. So it'll be called like an interactable area or something like that. door area. See, what if we create a new script? I'm just gonna theory craft this out for now. We can call this one interact area. Extends node, extends area. Class name interact area. And now if we go to door area and then extend interact area, we can have some generic stuff inside the interact area that we don't have inside area 3D. And that'll be things like interact text, you know what I mean? So we could go export interact. There's no interact 1, it's just interact and interact 2. So then a door area, which this is here, right, is going to have those two things because it subclasses interact area. So interact
Nothing
text
but retro,
1
I use
is
an
not.
interaction component that sits as a child of anything I want to interact with.
Exactly. So my interact area is going to have two functions, right? And this one's going to have signals. Signal interacted. Maybe it would just interact 1 or 2, you know what I mean? So
Nothing but retro
interacted is an integer. So with the door area, we can have, this can be like a scene of its own. We can have an audio player. Audio stream player 3D with a door knock sound effects. We got to get that from somewhere. Door knock. We need a door knock sound. It's weird that I don't have one. That's really weird that I don't have a door knock sound at all on my computer. Wow. What is it? Pexels? Door knock sound. No, Pexels is the wrong one. For free, Pixabay. I don't know if you guys use Pixabay. These are all kind of freaky. Now that is funny. I know you guys can't hear it just yet, but it doesn't matter. You guys don't need to hear it just yet. I got something cute for you up there. Like this. You guys can have a bit of an imagination as well about what I should be doing next. Door knocking, angry. 25. This is an MP3, so I'm going to convert that to an OGG. Real quick.
Nothing but retro. Og throws up in his mouth a little.
What are you
Nothing
talking
but
about?
retro. Yeah, I know. LOL.
Nah, you need to get used to Og, dude. You have to. Every other use for it, I wouldn't even recommend, but for Godot, you have to. You got to learn how to use Og. and you shouldn't be using WAV at all. If you're using WAV, you'd being an idiot. You have to use OGG. MP3 is a little bit like, it's fine, but yeah, don't be using WAVs. It's just not worth it. Hope that didn't freak you out.
Nothing but retro wave to OGG for sure.
Yeah, gotta use OGG. Door knock audio. Look, and then we can save this. Okay, we need to move this whole thing over. I don't like it not being centered.
284. I would add sounds to the scene to make it feel alive. I want to hear the sea and seagulls and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just not important yet, you know. Because I'm also going to add weather, and weather is going to be a part of that ambience, where we can use a bunch of sliders on a bunch of different tracks that are looping. But I've also thought about how I'm going to make the sea sound. And what I'm going to do...
8284 Hurricane Season Dude.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to have... Yeah, exactly. Like, we can get pretty hectic with it. And all I got to do is make it foggy and a lot of particles, and that'll sell the effect, right? And, like, really turbulent. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a big ring around the whole level, right? And then the audio for the sea will be on, like, a path. You know what I mean? And then anytime that you are walking around, it's going to snap to the closest part of that path, right? At least if you're close enough to that ring. So it'll always sound like the ocean sound is coming from the ocean and not from anywhere else, you know? You know what I'm saying? Yo, E-Putts, what's good, baby? Working on an interaction system. Sorry, I should have actually had the game down. I'm going to make a big, massive circle around the level, and then I'm going to have the audio snap onto that. So it'll always sound like the audio is coming from the ocean and not anywhere else, you know? That's what I'm going to do anyway. Yeah, hurricane season is going to be swag, bro. Where it's just hectic. And so that'll be a weather condition too. It'll be like really hectic.
The audio sick.
Yeah, it's mad. Check it out. So this is the slum game that I've been working on. We're just in the middle of setting up a system of interaction. So this here kind of needs to be able to interact with, what's it called? The shape cast needs to collide with areas too. So this collision mask needs to be on world and also on interactable. So then when I hover over this, we should get some debug of whether we are touching a wall or whether we're touching an interact component, right? Which was the, sorry, interact area. So we can just check that way. So obviously on the player, we've got our interaction system. And then here we can have our controller rect. So this is our interact one icon. We don't really need to set that though at all. Interact one, interact two. So interact one box and interact two box, we'll call it. We need to get a reference to that inside interaction system. Yep. And then interact box label, interact two box label, interact label, call it. It's a little bit technical here, but what I'm going to try and do is show and hide the interact boxes based on what I'm looking at. So this door, where is the door? I need to set this up. So it's only got knock. See, interact text 1 is knock, but interact text 2 is nothing. So when we run this, I'll show you what I mean. See how it's showing left and right click? Left and right click here, 1 for grab and 2 for grabber. So when we hover over this, it should only show 1, and that's just for knock, right? And then we need to set this system up to generically get that door to make that knock sound, if you know what I mean. So interact. Oh, we can have our signals up here. Interaction system. That's this here. We've got our shape cast as well, which we need to declare. Grab a reference to. And now what we want to do is on process, if shapecast 3D dot is colliding, if shapecast 3D dot collision, how do we get the collision? Over there is to the collision result 0. Is that how we get it? Is interact area, then interact label, interact 2 box. Gotta do this for both. Is it if it's not colliding with anything in the interact box, we just hide. We don't worry about it. If it does collide, and it is an interact area, if what is it? Shapecast colliding. Okay, so we need to get the collision result is that. So if call result dot interact text, it should always have an interact text, I guess. So if call result dot interact to text, interact to text. So we're checking to see if there's a second entry, which there isn't. Then we go if interact dot visible, and we hide it. The reason we do this way is just so we don't set the visibility every single frame, because that's going to chew into your frame rate if you start doing that. So what we got to do is we got to check to see if it's visible first, and if it is, then hide it. Interact box dot show. If interact back box dot visible. If not, interact box dot show. Interact label dot text equals brr. We also need to keep a track of the last thing that we looked at. If call result not equal to last thing looked at, so we only change. We only do this logic if the last thing we looked at isn't the same as what we're looking at now. Gotta do that at some point. That's gonna be it. Else. No. I gotta do that for both this and that. Ooh, that's confusing. I hope that logic is okay. So if it is colliding, and if it's not colliding, the last thing looked at is null. Obviously, because it's not colliding, so it doesn't matter. We should probably equal null there. And we can make this a node 3D at least. Interact text, not interact to text. Fucking hell, dude. Okay, I think that might
Echo the
work.
audio, Mr. Lucky.
Oh! Hello. Dictionary, bruh. Okay, wait. I think we've got to get the collider. Call results. The dictionary collider. Okay, here we go. Now, if we look at this, oop. Call result dot interact text. Bullshit, I don't have anything in there. Do 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 do. Interact label. Null instance. What is null? Interact label.
Nothing but retro. I learned more here in 2 hours than I have in 3 years of pirate software.
Hell yeah. Interact label doesn't exist. Okay, that makes sense. Fucking bastard. There we go. Should work now. Ready for it? Oh, okay, so it's flashing on the screen. That's obviously got to do with the last thing I looked at. Not equal to last thing looked at. Okay, that's not supposed to go there then, is it? My problem is if you look from one thing to the next, it's going to change. Look at that. So as we look at it, it'll say knock. And now we need to set up a generic system where if I interact with it, it'll, you know, object interacted node. So let's create an input function here. Func input. If event is input event key, no, it's a mouse button. If event, no, if input dot is action just pressed interact, then interact to pass this for now. Input interact. If last thing looked at has method interact. I'll have to do the same thing here. Then we go last thing looked at dot interact like that, and then we fire off the signal. Last thing looked at.
Nothing but retro 4, screenshots trailer and a working build. That's all I need. Yon can make page public after that.
You need to make a game, dude. That's the thing. Making a sandbox is one thing, but you gotta make a game, you know? So like, I would never even bother putting a Steam page up for this until I'm confident that I've got enough to show in a trailer or something like that, you know? It is good to get all of that stuff done as early as possible though, so but yeah, screenshots, like, you want your grand reveal to be a big one. You want it to be, you know, impactful, you know what I mean? Or, you know, just make an X account and then post all this like progress update, you know what I mean? Because that's what people on Twitter are all about. They're all about progress updates and, you know, looking at what you've done recently.
Nothing but retro, yeah, we need to have a multiplayer game going on and record it all.
Object interacted. Just in case. I'll turn off that for now. I don't think I need that. Interact 2. Cool, so last thing looked at is this door, this arena, this area door. Interact area. So then what we do is we go interact. So this is the method interact that I was looking for. Interacted. So if we run up to that, so if we left click, nothing. We run up to it, left click, we get the debug text interacted. So we're interacting with that door right now. So what I've got to do then is we've got to reparent this to a new, no, we've got to save branch as a scene. So this is the door area. This is going to have a whole bunch of extra stuff in here. As well as be called a door area. It's also saved into its own thing. We can reset the transformation 15 degrees and go redo that to the door. Where is it? 15 degrees. You just rotate it. Okay, where even are you? I can't even see it anymore. Chill. Why is this not working? I can't see shit. Okay, that's probably better. I can barely see it. Just barely. That's like 2% opacity. I can see it now. You won't be able to see that. But anyway. Door area here. So we can have like exports like you know, the person who lives here. That can just be a string for now, but like we can have you know, an NPC that lives there, and then have things like anyone home as a boolean equals false. So I mean, those are things that we could do. I think anyone home we're going to keep. We have to export it. If we want to save the state, we need to keep it exported. Door knock audio, here we go. So interacted, door knock audio.play. There we go, and now it should work. We walk up to it and we can knock that door. It's a bit loud, isn't it?
Nothing but retro nice.
Yeah, boy, easy. Unit size, say 2. Don't really want it to go too far out. You also don't want it to be too loud when you get up close to it. We can change that to a audio stream randomizer. Add the door knocking element in.
Nothing but retro. Do you use anti-cheat or not?
I don't give a shit about anti-cheat, dude. I have my own way of like, you know, because I make single player games. If
Nothing but retro, lol.
I've got a hashing system for, like, an assault system for Let Me Book, where every single time you start up a round, it creates a random number, and then every single time you put a book back, that bookshelf contributes to the, you know, overall number. You know what I mean? So, like, with a cheat engine, like, you could figure it out, but you'd have to, like, figure out the address, you know? Or whatever in the RAM that it's always at, because it resets every single time.
Nothing but retro keeps growing yet.
Yeah, it keeps growing, and then at the end, all I do is I just do a division, and then if the division matches, then it's you know. So it's like an anti-cheat that's worked into the actual logic of the game itself, but that's only because I have a leaderboard, you know. The fact that I have a leaderboard is like I don't want to ever have to clean up the leaderboard because people have cheated their way to the top, and that's why I did that, you know. But yeah, for the most part, like I don't care. Like, if people want to cheat in a single player game, like let them. Gives a shit. Who gives a crap? You know, you're kind of like impeding their fun if you get in the way too much. Why does it sound so off balance? Why does it sound so stupid, dude? I don't know, man. Maybe it's the actual sound. No. I make it start here instead. And maybe like there's areas where you can like you can prod the ground or something like that. Maybe we have like a whacking stick. And you can just smack the ground, and then if a worm pops up. How cool is that though, the interactable area? So all it does is it just checks to see if that interactable area has a thing on it, a method on it for door knocking. So yeah, I'm thinking like a scavenging system is probably what we'll have to set up first. Yeah. Well, that's my 2 hours, boys. It's been a fun stream. Now you guys know what I'm working on. Suggestions in the Discord, etc. See you guys on the next one.